Drive down any rural highway after midnight, and you'll eventually pass one of these brightly lit boxes sitting completely isolated in the dark. For the people working inside, the shift is defined by quiet, predictable routines. They brew coffee, fill out inventory logs, and wait out the clock until sunrise. This top-down view shows why these spaces are structurally vulnerable. Because the interior is flooded with fluorescent light and the outside is dark, a worker's sightline stops exactly at the glass. Meanwhile, anyone standing in the shadows has full visibility of everything happening inside. That visibility allows for a specific type of target selection. It provides a window into the routines of someone who is alone, tied to a register, and blind to what is approaching the door. A convenience store at 3 in the morning is a fishbowl that removes the standard layers of societal protection, leaving workers exposed to whoever decides to step into the light. Meredith was 24 when she began noticing an older man who broke the typical customer pattern at her station. He didn't head for the coffee or the aisles. He just stood near the counter, staring with a strange sense of familiarity. He eventually began verbalizing details he had gathered while watching her. He pointed to her handwriting on the whiteboard, noting that she used tiny slashes instead of dots for her eyes. He told her he knew she locked the back door at exactly 2 a.m. every night. Proof of his surveillance soon appeared inside the store. Meredith found a Polaroid photograph of herself on the counter, taken from the darkness outside. No note was attached, but the labels in the background had been circled in red ink, highlighting the specific letters with the slashes. When police eventually searched the man's car, they found a notepad filled with Meredith's schedule, her grocery lists, and pages where her name was written over and over again in tightening loops until the ink turned into solid scribbles. By posing as a customer, a watcher can map a target's physical habits and blind spots. It is a way to gather intelligence without committing a crime that would trigger an immediate police response. Predators also use professional social contracts to gain physical entry. Night shift hotel clerks are trained to be accommodating to strangers, even when their instincts suggest something is wrong. At a small 40-room hotel, a worker buzzed a man through the locked front doors after he asked for a room. He handed over a credit card, took a key, and walked past the building's exterior security. The card, it turned out, was stolen. Once inside, the man's behavior changed. He never went to his room. Instead, he sat motionless in the lobby lounge for over an hour, staring at a television screen that was powered off. He began moving through the hallways, standing silently outside guest room doors for minutes at a time. Every time the clerk looked up, the man was in a different corner of the lobby, watching other patrons and tracking their movements. Customer service protocols force workers to rationalize this behavior. Because the clerk is expected to treat the intruder as a guest, they often hesitate to act, giving the predator hours of access to the building. Some threats involve multiple actors, using the environment's geometry to set a trap. A weekend gas station worker was warned by passing customers about a brand new, unplated vehicle running quietly at the far edge of the lot. The driver positioned the vehicle perfectly inside an architectural blind spot, completely invisible from the register. When confronted, he sped off, but a second unplated car immediately followed. Both vehicles had been positioned to monitor exits while staying completely hidden. The next night, the same unplated car returned to that exact blind spot. The people inside only drove away because a large group of customers pulled up to the pumps, ending the workers' isolation. The presence of witnesses is often the only deterrent in these environments. Without them, the late-night worker is the sole focus of anyone waiting in the shadows. For Daniel, working the overnight shift at a rural motel, the front desk was the physical barrier between his workspace and the public. At 2 a.m., the call bell on the counter rang. Daniel walked out to find the lobby empty. 10 minutes later, it rang again. He checked the parking lot and the bathrooms, but the building was silent. Daniel sat behind the counter, waiting. Then the bell rang a third time. The intruder wasn't in the lobby. A pale hand reached up from directly underneath the front desk counter and pressed the bell right in front of him. Daniel fled to the back office and watched the security feed as a hooded figure crawled out from the gap beneath the desk. While Daniel sat behind a locked door, he watched on the monitor as the man stood in the lobby, staring directly into the camera. Physical barriers like counters provide a sense of distance, but they offer no actual protection once an intruder has found a way inside the workspace. Even when these encounters end without physical injury, the psychological impact remains. Meredith still feels the back of her neck tingle when headlights follow her home, and Daniel can no longer sit at the desk without scanning the floor beneath him. These stories show that standard security measures can be bypassed by anyone willing to exploit the worker's isolation. Daniel watched the intruder on a high-definition camera feed, but the camera didn't stop the man from rattling the office door. In these environments, safety depends on the arrival of others. For the worker, survival is a matter of maintaining awareness and enduring the shift until the sun comes up. At 3 a.m., the brightly lit convenience store or motel lobby is a fragile ecosystem. Inside, a solitary worker waits, entirely alone in the dark.